I'm Jaylee Mays, and I will be doing I did my business continuity plan over Mays Construction. A little bit about Mays Construction. It is a family-owned directional drilling business. There is about 7 employees currently because they have had to lay off a few employees due to the fact that there's a lack of oil field business. The business made about $750,000 last year. How I gathered my information was from personal experience, informal interviews, desk review of documentation, and outputs and deliverables. I have been working for Mays Construction for over 4 years now, so I was able to gather all the knowledge I knew it helped me be able to put all this into a business continuity plan. Informal interviews, I have given many of them to my parents and employees. I talked to each of them individually on how they thought all the processes worked. They all answered about the same answer, but some of them had unique ways of putting it and was able to help me better understand the key functions. My mom was able to give me all access to the documentation of the business. I was able to look at all the financial records and put all the pieces together to help me figure out the impact over time of key functions that could destroy the business. I was able to use output and deliverables to figure out the recovery time. This showed me how much we could afford to lose before I knew we'd be hurting for money. Assumptions that I made, there was 5 assumptions. The first one is that the secondary locations are not affected by the disaster and is operational for use. The second one was the equipment on the secondary locations are not affected. Thirdly, the plan has been maintained and updated. Personnel was not harmed in this crisis, and the functions and roles reference in this plan do not have to previously exist within the organization. They can be assigned to one or more individuals as new responsibilities, or delegated to an external third party if funding for services can be arranged. The plan distribution list. Mays Construction Continuity Plan will be distributed in the following departments, or individuals will be numbered in the following manner. 1. Published by the Business Continuity Plan. 2. Authorized by Director William Mays and Financial Manager Crystal Mays. 3. Distributed to the head employee Justin Mays. And 4. Implemented by the Director William Mays. Business impact analysis. We have 4 key business functions. First one is directional drilling with the manager William Mays, and the recovery time is 72 hours. The second key function is financial management. The manager is Crystal Mays, and the recovery time is also 72 hours. Inventory is our third key function, with the manager being Justin Mays, and the recovery time for this is a week. Our last key business function is maintenance, and William Mays is the manager of that, with a recovery time of 72 hours. The relocation process. In case of facilities disruption or disaster, the Emergency Operations Center will be the financial manager's office in the main building in Hardesty. If there's a disruption or a crisis that this facility cannot be used, there's 2 alternate sites. One is located 5 miles east of Hardesty, and the second one is located 3 miles southeast of Hardesty. The activities necessary to recover from Mays Construction's main branch facilities is divided into 4 phases, and the phases are disaster occurrence, plan activation, alternate site operations, and transition to primary sites. The disaster occurrence, this phase begins with the occurrence of a disaster and continues until the decision is made to activate the recovery plan. The major activities that take place in this phase include emergency response measures, notification of management, damage assessment activities, and declaration of the disaster. The second phase is plan activation. In this phase, the business continuity plans are put into effect. The phase continues until the alternate facility is occupied. Critical business functions are established, and computer services are restored and back to normal. The major activities in this phase includes notification and assembly of the recovery teams, implementation of the procedures, relocation to the secondary facility, and reestablishment of data communications. The third phase is alternate site operations. In this phase begins after secondary facility operations are established and continues until the primary facility is restored. And the last phase is transitioning back to the primary site. And this phase consists of all activities necessary to make the transition back to the primary facility location. Vital records are like your heart. You cannot even begin to keep your business going without these records. All vital records for Mays Constructions that would be affected by the facility's disruption or maintained and controlled by the financial manager. All the permits, inventory, invoicing, bills, workman's comp are kept in QuickBooks, which is backed up to another computer in both of the secondary locations. There are files with all the client and billing information in the main office building in a filing cabinet. The recovery team organization chart is as follows. The team leader is William Mays. The HR is Justin Mays. Information and technology is myself. Financial and admin is Crystal Mays. Legal contracts is William Mays and Leanne Ottinger. And business function leaders are assigned as needed. The recovery team leader, William Mays, officially declares a disaster and starts a disaster recovery process to recover Mays Construction's business functions at the alternate site. He alerts senior management that the disaster has been declared. He assists in the development of official public statement concerning the disaster. He monitors the processes of the business continuity team daily, presents continuity plan recovery status, and reports to senior management on a daily basis. He also interfaces with appropriate work management personnel throughout the recovery process. The HR is in charge of providing information regarding the disaster and recovery efforts to employees and families. He assists in arranging cash advances if out of the area travel is necessary. He notifies employees emergency contacts of employee injury or fatality. He ensures the processing of life, health, and accident insurance claims as required. He also coordinates temporary organization employee requests. The administration / finance is managed by Crystal Mays. This team ensures the recovery or restoration personnel has assistance with clerical tasks, errands, and other administration activities, arranging for availability of necessary office support services and equipment. She provides a channel for authorization of expenditures for all recovery personnel, tracks all costs related to the recovery and restoration effort. She identifies and documents when repairs can begin and obtaining cost estimates. She also determines where forms and supplies should be delivered based on damage to the normal storage area for the materials. Our business continuity plan. We must have a formal sign-off by the senior management on the business continuity plan, and there's a spot to sign on this plan for the senior management, which is William Mays. the plan and exercise reports. BCP testing or exercise stresses the current BCP and recovery team member in order to prepare the facility for a disaster. The annual reports, exercises, scenarios. Mays Construction Management is responsible for ensuring the workability of their business continuity plan. This should be periodically verified by the active or passive testing. The business continuity plan can be tested by hands-on exercises or drills. The objective of the drills is to determine the state of readiness of the BCP by creating a learning environment so that all participants can learn about the plan. Secondly, validate the BCP's resource list. Make sure they are sufficient and the effect to recovery of business operations or IT services are appropriate. They document changes and updates. And thirdly, verify the BCP and current and accurately reflects the organization's requirements. The exercise test evaluation sheet. This is where you will fill out whenever you do your exercise or your drill, you will fill out how they did and what should be made differently. This is where you put your changes in at and you document everything that you've done. And the exercise report, this is a completely different form that is used for documents of the business continuity plan's exercises. So this tells you how many times you have exercised this report or how many times you have updated it as well. And that is my business continuity plan over Mays Construction. Thank you.